Hey everyone! Welcome back! I am back today with more Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 this time. You guys, I am really excited. If you're joining me early today, you already know what it means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, you know I'm sending you up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So, I really loved Mob Psycho Season 1. I have just finished it. I skipped the Reagan OVA after Season 1 because I was told it was kind of more of like a recap and not really necessary to watch before moving on to Season 2. I may go back and watch it in the future, maybe when I'm all caught up. But I'm excited to jump into Season 2. We got a lot at the end of Season 1. So not only did we just get some great progress with our characters, we got just that whole, the whole thing with Reagan getting the powers for a little while just blew my mind. It was so fun and so cool to watch. I love that everything that Mob has learned over the last season. I love the way that Mob and Ritsu worked through everything and became closer, and I feel like their bond became a lot stronger. I feel like Mob himself has kind of grown, you know? Like, he's part of the Body Improvement Club now, and he, it kind of feels like his world is opening up beyond, what we saw of him at the beginning of the series, where he just had very it felt like he had very set ideas on certain things, and now it feels like maybe he's kind of learned a little bit more about himself and about the world. Certainly we've done a lot of world building in the last season, because we learned about Claw, we learned you know, just kind of how many others there are out there with psychic powers, which at the beginning of the series, it's not really a thing. Speaking of psychic powers, it kind of seemed to me at the end of the last episode that Reagan and Mob were kind of on the same page about Reagan not really having psychic powers now. I could be misunderstanding that, but there was a line where they're hunting the, I can't remember the name of it, but they're doing their little hunt thing. And he's like, well, Mob, you have psychic powers and I have ingenuity. And so it seemed like he wasn't trying to play it that he had psychic powers anymore. I could just be reading too much into that, but it would be really cool too if they had kind of moved to that point where they were on the same page about that a little bit more. We know Teru, he had a lot of growth. He was kind of almost sort of like a bully. I mean, he was the cool guy at school, you know, and was really taking advantage of his powers, and seemed like he learned a lot from being around Mob, and even just seeing Reagan take some of the villains to school at the end of the last episode. So I feel like there has been some really great growth over the last season, and they opened us up to some possibilities at the end of the last episode. They kind of let us know that the actual Claw boss, because it did not turn out to be Reagan, although it was a hilarious comedy of errors when some people in Claw thought that he was, but they kind of let us know that boss is still out there, and the redheaded kid that we kept seeing was the boss's son, and was kind of there to see where they were all at in that particular division. So it'll be interesting to see where that all goes. Claw is still out there. They still have tons of other factions, I'm sure. I expect to see some ramping up with that maybe in the next season. So I'm excited for where we're going. We kind of get to see, now that everything's all established, we get to see just what direction they're going to take it all in. So it's really fun starting a season 2, because you already have an idea of the characters, an idea of the story, and now you're just kind of now you're you're getting really into some more of the specifics, as opposed to like when you're just starting out a series and trying to figure out what's going on and doing the world building, getting to know everyone. So with all that being said, what do you say we jump right in and start season 2 of Mob Psycho 100? Let's go. Oh my god, you guys, that was such a great start to the second season. Look where we are now. Like, I started off this reaction talking about Mob's progress, no pun intended. But we really just got to see it exemplified here that, while his mind is always going to be his mind, you know, just in the way that he processes things, he is actively trying to not like overly suppress feelings and trying to express them in a little bit of a healthier, overt way. And you can see that, like, through this whole episode, he only like stayed in the 20% range of explosion. I don't know if if I'm interpreting that correctly. I think it means that because he is trying to express himself in a different way, or even just like a little bit more, he's not having those drastic, like, okay, push everything down and then it all, you know, just loses control. So interesting. I like that. I like that he has grown in that way, but I love that he's still him, you know? I love that it didn't, like, it's not a an overnight thing where he decided, hey, I'm gonna be a, you know, like, life doesn't work that way, you know? And the fact of the matter is, like, different people just have different personalities, different, you know, ways that their brains work and everything. And I like that they are kind of, you know, for a show that's so surrealistic, it's a very realistic portrayal of, you know, actual progress in a person's life. It's pretty cool, guys. That's pretty cool. I was so worried she asked him out as a trick. I was so worried. Oh my god. And I was right. But I wasn't like, I'm glad it didn't become a big like humiliation surprise thing. If anything, I think she ended up being the one who was so humiliated by being the kind of person she is and associating with people who obviously are not the nicest people. And Mob just came in, even after he knew. He just came in and stood up for her. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so Mob kind of maybe sort of has a girlfriend now. That's pretty cool. I love that we started out with him, like, it seemed like he was going to do another, like, gimmick to try and get his sweetheart to notice him. And throughout the course of the episode, he kind of ends up starting something. I don't know, like, if they're labeling it yet, but there's definitely something between him and Emmy, I think her name was. And at the end, we see, like, that is what got the attention of his crush. Not any of the gimmicks or anything, but just happened to be there when he was just being Mob, just being his amazing, sweet little self. I wonder if she's going to start to notice him again. But you know what? I mean, it's possible he's going to, you know, have more in common with and be closer to this new girl, Emmy, anyway. So I don't know. We'll see. Are they going to give us a Mob love triangle here? Oh my goodness. Did not see that coming. Really fun stuff, guys. So we didn't get to see a whole lot of some of our other characters. Like, I don't think we saw Teru. We saw a little bit of Ritsu, but not like a whole lot. We know that the student council president stepped down, and we got to see a little bit of Ritsu's feelings on that, and then having Mob back, you know, having Mob in the election and having his friend back in the election. So, but not so, I'm sure we'll get like more with Ritsu later on, but we had Reigen, of course, taking vegetable payment. Not even vegetable payment, but now just kind of fertilizer payment, and who knows. But Reigen does seem like a little bit more, I wouldn't say honest, but like we really are getting to see like the decency of Reigen. Like despite everything, despite like the whatever you want to say about like his con arts and everything, like he would take anything as payment for somebody who was like hurting and down on the luck and everything. Maybe not down on his luck, but just had like couldn't pay basically. Also, we got to see a little bit more of a focused use of Mob's powers in this one. You know, instead of just like exercising, we got to see the ways in which he can kind of focus his psychic energy, and some possibilities for like maybe further down the line. Like seems like he can actually possess life, which is pretty incredible. Had never really given that a lot of thought, but it makes sense. I mean, he has probably what's similar to like a spirit's energy, right? It's all kind of probably psychic energy on some level, I would imagine. That's another thing. I wonder if we'll ever go into like the origins of ESP or anything like that, like how people have it and what exactly it is. It's not something I feel like they have to go into. I'm fine with just leaving it where it is. Some people are psychic, some people aren't. But it kind of begs the question, like, if he can possess someone like a spirit does, there's probably a lot of similarities between just like a spirit's powers and an ESPer's powers. So in short, guys, I loved it. What a way to kick off the season. I cannot wait to see more. I hope you had as much fun with this episode as I did. I had a blast, I'm sure, as you could tell, hopefully. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.